Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group Titan. I am Farah Liana with other two members, Muhammad Azri and Anis Yasmin, would like to present on Leukemia and Lymphoma Society case. In this video, we discuss on the major issue faced by Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and we propose a solution with implementation plan in order to cater the main problem faced by LLS. Along this progress, we use three different analytical tools, which are fishbone diagram, SWOT matrix, and TOS matrix, in order to analyze the situation and major problem faced by LLS. Firstly, let me know deeper about this society. This society is a non-profit health organization that specializes on blood cancer. There are three types of blood cancer, which are leukemia, lymphoma, and myeloma. Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, or also known as LLS, was established in 1949 after the death of Robert, son of wealthy New York family, due to leukemia. After his death, his parents started a fundraising and education organization under their son's name. In 2000, this society changed their name to Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, or LLS. The mission of this NGO is to cure leukemia, lymphoma, Hodgkin's disease, and myeloma, and improve the quality of life of patients and their families. In 2012, LLS was rewarded as fourth best cancer non-profit organization. The headquarters of LLS is in White Plains, New York, and it has two branches which are in Canada and United States. The branches help the center in providing local support and conducting local events. Each branch needs to reach a fundraising goal that has been decided by the center. Moreover, there are three main activities of LLS, which are first, supplying funds for blood cancer research, providing free information and support service to cancer patients, and this NGO also representing all blood cancer patients regarding their healthcare concerns. In order to operate the activities, there are three types of revenue streams of LLS, which are contribution, donated services, and investment income. Around 88% of overall revenues come from contribution. The contribution income is gained from two sources, which are individual and corporate sponsor. Along their journey, LLS only use traditional fundraising mechanism, which they only focus on conducting the campaign in order to raise funds from the society. LLS conducted large health-centered events, which they target only small individual donors. There are several core campaigns that has been conducted by them, which are Team in Training, like the Night Walk and Pennies for Patients. Besides that, this NGO also did not conduct any centralized national marketing campaign. Corporate sponsors also contribute to the LLS in terms of funding the patient program, license logo, and selling products. This traditional method may reduce the capabilities of LLS to still compete in the competitive market. Until now, LLS is still actively giving their full support to blood cancer patients, as well as invest in research and development to find the best treatment and cure for blood cancer patients. Next, protagonist. In this case, we choose Josh Omiros as a protagonist or decision maker. He is currently the Executive Vice President of Campaign and Field Development. He served LLS for almost 25 years and have in charge in different types of positions, such as Executive Director of Local Chapter and National Marketing Representative. We choose Josh Omiros as decision maker because he is primarily responsible in generating the revenue strategies of LLS. Currently, his role is to provide strategic direction and overall management of LLS chapter, including oversees the campaign activity that is conducted in LLS chapters. In our opinion, revenue strategy is an important component in LLS organization because the revenue generated by LLS will affect the operation of LLS as a whole. Thus, for our opinion, Josh Omiros is a right person to be a protagonist because he plays important role in cater the main problem of LLS.
Next, we identify the main problem faced by LLS. We use fishbone diagram technique to investigate the main issue arises, which this technique helps us to identify the cause and effect of problem faced by LLS. There are several factors that lead to the main problem. Firstly, this NGO is located in a saturated market that has many competitors from the same field. Some examples of LLS competitors are American Cancer Society, Lymphoma Research Foundation, and Leukemia Research Foundation. These NGO have the same goal with LLS, which is to get funds in order to provide support to the cancer patient. Hence, it caused high competition among them to gain funds from the donors. Next, recession that happened in the current year has impacted the revenue generated by LLS. This is because LLS revenue is mostly depends on the support of donors through fundraising. During this recession, the demand for non-profit organizations increased rapidly, especially in the medical field, because many people cannot afford to pay for their treatment services. Despite increased demand from the community, the donor spending habits have impacted due to weak economic conditions. The amount of donation received has gradually decreased during the recession. Moreover, the support from donors and volunteers also decreased due to unstable economic conditions. After that, political factor, which is the changes in tax law, impact the revenue of non-profit organizations. The announcement of elimination of charity expenses as tax deduction by President Obama caused unfavorable effect to non-profit organizations, especially LLS. The taxpayer cannot claim charity expenses to tax deduction because it has been removed from the list. This decision was made to solve the budget crisis that happened during the recession. As a result, the society, especially the taxpayer, tend to not donate to the NGO because they cannot get any exemption for their charity expenses. Next, the increased support from the community to disaster relief effort caused LLS to lose their potential donor. It is because people prefer to donate to the NGO that deal with the disaster relief compared to NGO in the medical field. Moreover, increased cost of drugs affect the cost of research in the medical field to become high. This situation affected the operation of LLS because this NGO was facing the financial problem. In conclusion, we can see that all these factors will contribute to reduction of funding resources in LLS. So, the problem statement here is how to increase the funding resources of LLS to ensure smooth operating activities in the future.
Okay, thank you, Sister Farah, for the explanation earlier. So we came to the analysis. So we decided to use SWOT analysis to analyze the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So the first one is strength. Leukemia and Lymphoma Society is ranked fourth for best non-profit cancer organization behind Susan G. Komen for the cure, ranked number 1, American Cancer Society, ranked number 2, Livestrong.org, ranked number 3. Secondly, LLS also get large support from special expertise in medical field. LLS also has many branches throughout US and Canada to provide local support and administer local events. Lastly, LLS engaged in charitable partnership by targeting small individual donors. So for weakness, we have identified two weaknesses from LLS. The first one is short funding supply due to the large increase in for the medical services and research development. The next one, LLS still conduct traditional fundraising through large health center event and word of mouth. So we move to the next one, which is the opportunity. The first opportunity that we found is new technology in healthcare. For example, GlaxoSmithKline released genomic profiling data over 300 cancer cell lines in 2008. By using new technology and data from others, LLS definitely can save drug development time and capital in the near future. LLS also in the largest segment of non-profit service, specifically in health, which is very important to everyone. So for the last one in SWOT analysis, which is threat, we have found several threats to the LLS organization. The first one is weak economic condition. All non-profit organization is suffering from the recession, which resulted in reduction of resources. Next, the change in donor spending habit due to recession also impacts the amount of donation that the donors make. Political factors such as changes in tax policy also becoming threat to LLS. For example, President Obama mentioned about elimination of charitable giving tax break. If charitable deductions are removed from tax deduction every year, it can be result in fewer amount of donation to LLS. Next, there are many competitors in this saturated market, and also the cost of drug development has increased over the year. So for the further analysis, we decided to use TOS metric. So TOS metric is a framework to create, compare, and decide on the business strategy or alternative. Based on SWOT analysis, we have listed all the possible alternatives. The first one is strength and opportunity. The LLS can sell or offer services based on strength 3 at SWOT and opportunity 3 at SWOT. The next one, LLS also can join venture with non-profit organization in the same field. Next, for strength and threat, LLS can conduct social media campaign by taking advantages on the smartphone and technology and engage with the philanthropy support. So we move to the weakness and opportunities. For weakness and opportunities, LLS can do crowdfunding via online platform and do unrelated business income, such as do a side job promoting some pharmacy to get more fund. Lastly, for weakness and threat, LLS can apply for government grants for continuous funding. So, based on the TOS metric, we have chosen 3 best alternatives that can possibly done by LLS to solve the funding issues. The first one is crowdfunding via online platform. LLS can raise money by taking the advantages on the increasing internet penetration and smartphone usage, as people nowadays get news and anything important via their phone only. Secondly, the LLS can sell product and services. For example, LLS can sell flower arrangement or even teach a class such as yoga to increase the fund. Lastly, LLS can do a corporate philanthropy support by collaborating with private hospital and pharmacy. The detailed explanation about the alternative will be explaining by Yasmin. So, based on the alternative, here is the criteria that we choose before suggesting the alternative. This is important to make sure that the chosen alternative is the best. The first criteria for alternative that we look is sustainability in long term. We decided to give 35% because the alternative chosen must provide a continuous funding to the organization, which can help the organization to sustain in the society for long term, not only focus for the short term. Secondly, benefit cost ratio (BCR). We decided to give 30% because the benefit of the alternative must exceed the cost that has been invested to ensure the investment made to implement this strategy is worth it. The next one is ease of implementation with 20%. This is important in deciding the alternative as the implementation should not involve complex structure that may be contribute to high costs. Lastly, the alternative chosen must improve corporate image. We put this criteria at 15% because the alternative should create value to the organization, which can help the organization to compete in the saturated market.
Thank you, Brother Azri. So next, I will be explaining about evaluate alternative, which will be listed the advantage and disadvantage of the alternative. So the first alternative chosen is crowdfunding. Basically, crowdfunding is a way to raise money from large group of people, but it can be either in online or physical way. Based on this case, we are focusing on online crowdfunding that happen via website that allow NGO or LLS to post description and pictures to attract donors to donate money. So here are the advantage of the crowdfunding. As mentioned in the case, LLS is the well-known and among the best non-government organizations, so it will be less critical problem to get more funding from the people. With the high potential of influence, LLS also can reach much more diverse audience as well as the new audience. So this will also increase the public image of LLS and act as a marketing tool. So next, we are living with the technology, so it will generate a modern revenue stream as all the donors will be transferring their fund through online platforms such as Maybank, Bank Islam, and etc. So to add more, donor also would be more confident to donate and give funding to NGO because LRS information can be easily spread out among the society since we all using social media platform to get the information. Next, the disadvantage of crowdfunding is time consuming because we need to update daily after the campaign is launched. We also need to check if the social media having any problem, for example crash on the payment. Also, NGO LLS will also um, incur moderate costs since LLS just need to pay on the platform fees and monthly subscription only. So this crowdfunding also would be conducted in short term where it can be in 1 month. It can be in only 1 month because there are no way to conduct crowdfunding in long term. So the next alternative is by selling product and services. LLS can do side business which may help the organization have some side income to increase the funding. So the advantage of selling product and services is the net income of the business so the net income of the business can be used solely for the NGO since the business owned by the LLS. And then this will also at once improve reputation of the NGO because it will automatically build trust and connection within the companies. This business also can retain in the market in long term as if the business is doing well, it can sustain and increase the fund of NGO itself. However, the business will incur high costs as LLS need some initial capital to start the business. So this alternative also need to have a proper planning to prevent from poor performance. So it still need a longer time to planning, evaluate, and so on. So moving forward, the most important part of this alternative is NGO need to take care of the product quality and services performance in order to sustain the business. Um, for for instance, NGO need to choose the type of product that are non-perishable because it will easily spoil and expired. So, the final alternative chosen was corporate philanthropic support, which means LLS need to collaborate with well-known private hospital or pharmacy. The advantage of this alternative is NGO will have a great bonding and relationship with the company, either pharmacy or private hospital. It also could improve the national recognition and at once get promoted by well-known company to engage with them. NGO will also get a consistent resources and supply from them, for example, the treatment, the tools, and medicine. Uh, Next, the patient will also get the privilege from the company. The best part is it will not incur high costs because NGO just need to propose their proposal with which also could build trust with which also could build trust with the donor towards the hospital or pharmacy. In contra, the disadvantage of this alternative is the NGO can only work with one company and only need to promote the specific company treatments. This NGO also need to maintain a very good performance and public image with the hope that the company will be accept for the collaboration. So moving forward to the decision part, we, Team Titans, decided to choose Alternative 3, the corporate philanthropic support. This is because the funding are secure due to the agreement signed between NGO and the company. It will also help to enhance the consumer trust to use or buy from the company products or services as they will think that it as a donate of LLS. In addition, LLS can encourage the partner giving in terms of volunteer and funds constantly to the NGO as to support their needs. This will also attract potential investors to invest and public interest through traditional channel as well as the media exposure. Corporate philanthropic support also could improve both side public image and incur low cost for the alternative. Lastly, we're moving forward to implementation. For the implementation, what can NGO do after choosing this decision is they can start to do research on the company, either the pharmacy or private hospital to be selected before proposing and selecting them. If the NGO also are preferred to evaluate the objective and needs that can be beneficial for both NGO and company, which mean the agreement that will be signed need to be agreed for both parties. Next, within the short terms, LLS need to make sure that the required resources or fund being fulfilled. That means after the agreement, NGO have enough supply and funds as promised by the company. NGO also need to ensure good communication with partner to remain a good relationship with them. LLS also need to engage more in the charity to increase the fund with the participation from both company and NGO. So in long term, NGO need to conduct an annual meeting in relation to revise back all the objective and the charity that have been implemented, whether it is effective or not. Also, they need to ensure uh, they need to ensure the efficiency of the allocation of resources, which means the need to recheck back if the allocation is not enough and give advantage which will give advantage for both sides. This is just to maintain a good relationship and keep the business relationship in harmony and peace. So yeah, I think that's all from us. Thank you very much.